Deep dive on PR Genius.
All right, so have you ever gone down one of those YouTube rabbit
Oh
holes?
yeah, totally. You start with like a cat video and end up watching a documentary about like the history of cheese or something.
Right. Well, this deep dive is sort of like that. We stumbled across these YouTube trailers, right? And they're from this channel called Hypercube Go.
Oh yeah, Hypercube Go. Those guys are out there.
Totally. Anyway, the trailers are for this thing called Time for the Show, the movie, the P is the trailer, and there's another one called Time for the Show, the movie, Time for the movie, the YouTube video.
Wait, so it's like a movie about a movie?
Yeah, like meta, you know? But the trailers are so weird, so we got to figure out what's going on, right? Like,
Yeah.
what's the real deal behind all this craziness?
Totally. It's like,
Yeah.
is this just random absurdity or is there something deeper going on?
Exactly. So the basic premise is there's this live show called Time for the Show, right? And it supposedly comes from this underground research facility called Hypercube Labs.
Underground. Like literally.
Yeah, literally underground, not your typical TV studio.
That's interesting. What's the show even about?
Well, that's where things get really strange. It's a talk show, supposedly, but it runs on this proprietary acoustic signal that interacts with your brainwaves.
Brainwaves. Okay, this is getting weird already.
Well, yeah, just wait. So they say that this signal, especially when it makes you laugh, generates psychic energy from the listener.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on, they're harvesting psychic energy from laughter.
Apparently so. And all this energy generated by all the viewers laughing is collected by this global network of pylons, like these weird tubes all over the place.
Like tubes, not satellites or something more high-tech.
Nope, tubes. And all this energy goes back to power, the lab's hypercore, keep the lights on, the whole shebang.
So the more people laugh, the more power they get. That's wild.
Right. The whole thing hinges on generating as much laughter as possible. And this is where the two main characters come in. Dr. Argus Q. Fox, he's like the classic mad scientist stereotype.
Got it. Like
Yeah.
the crazy hair, lab coat, the whole 9 yards.
Yep, exactly. And then there's his co-host, Reverend Pease. And together they create this uniquely chaotic show.
Okay, so we have a mad scientist, a reverend, a show powered by laughter, and tubes collecting psychic energy. Where do we even begin?
Right. It's a lot to unpack. And across these trailers, we see these bizarre experiments, aliens, a road trip to Vegas. It's like a fever dream, honestly.
That sounds like it. So what's the deal with Dr. Fox and his experiments?
Well, he's all about pushing the boundaries of science. He researches everything from alternative energy sources to psychic communication. Oh, and he also apparently works on clothes for fish.
Clothes for fish. What, like little fish sweaters?
Yeah. He says you can find them at any tackle shop. It's a very specific detail for a fictional world.
Okay. So besides the fish fashion, what are the major takeaways from his research?
Early on, he discovers that laughter triples the amount of psychic energy he can pull in from viewers. So basically, the funnier the show, the more power they generate. Makes you wonder about all those laugh tracks on sitcoms, right?
Yeah, like are those just for our entertainment or is there some secret psychic energy farm somewhere?
Right. Food for thought. But getting back to Dr. Fox, we're introduced to this thing called the Pum crystal fuel cell. It powers the whole lab, but it's having some issues.
Issues like what?
Well, according to this Dr. Science character, it's running at overcapacity and bleeding energy. Like a leaky faucet, but for psychic energy.
So they need more capacity, but how?
And here comes Dr. Science again with this groundbreaking discovery. He's created a new element. Ironics.
Ironics, huh? Is that like a real element or just something they made up for the movie?
I think it's safe to say it's fictional. But the important thing is it's 50 times denser than PUM and can store a crazy amount of this negatively polarized sub-ether energy.
Right, so what do they do with this super dense energy storage material?
Dr. Science suggests they could use it to run archive shows constantly, even with minimal power. Basically, everyone would be tuning in subconsciously via the pylon network, like you're watching TV in your sleep.
Whoa, that's kind of creepy, like subliminal advertising taken to a whole new level.
Right. Imagine the implications of that. But Dr. Fox's main takeaway from all this is vacation time, priorities,
I
right?
think so. But it sounds like they have even more wacky inventions up their sleeves.
Oh, yeah. There's also Pavades, the passive-aggressive driverless system. Basically, it's an AI chauffeur.
So like a self-driving car, but with an attitude?
Yep. And here's the kicker. Paydays needs comedy directives to actually work. You have to entertain it to get anywhere.
Wait, so to get this thing to drive, you got to make it laugh.
Yep, pretty much. They end up having to perform their show inside the van just to keep Paydays happy and moving.
That's both hilarious and kind of terrifying. Like, what happens if you run out of jokes on a road trip?
Right, you're stranded. But it emphasizes this whole weird connection between comedy and energy in their world. Laughter literally fuels everything.
Okay, so we have Dr. Fox with his energy experiments and sassy AI. What about Reverend Pease? What's his deal?
Oh, Pease has his own adventures. It starts with a mysterious package from a fan. No one knows what's inside. Maybe mushrooms, maybe radioactive waste. Who knows?
Okay, a mysterious package. Sounds intriguing. Where does this lead?
Well, while Pease is out jeeping in the Nevada desert, yes, the Reverend likes to go off-roading. He encounters aliens.
Aliens, huh? Not your average Tuesday afternoon. What are these aliens like?
They're not little green men. They claim to be a collective consciousness of trillions of souls from another dimension brought to Earth billions of years ago against their will.
So like a giant hive mind of ancient alien spirits.
Basically, and they've been stuck here ever since.
Well, that's a bummer. What do they want with Reverend Pease?
They tell him he's the chosen one, the people's prophecy champion who's destined to open a dimensional doorway so they can go home.
Whoa, that's a big responsibility for a guy who just likes to drive his Jeep in the desert.
Yeah, no kidding. And as a reward for helping them, they promise him some sweet upgrades for his Jeep and camper, like alien cow horns and a heated toilet.
A heated toilet? That's oddly specific.
Right. But apparently, even interdimensional beings appreciate a little comfort.
Fair enough. So how's Pease supposed to get these aliens home?
They give him a list of things to gather, like condenser beads and tritium harmonic resonators. But, and this is important, they warn him not to involve Dr. Fox.
Why not? What's wrong with Dr. Fox?
They're worried about Brar the Imprisoner, some evil alien warlord who might show up if Fox gets involved. Apparently there's a whole intergalactic power struggle going on behind the scenes.
Wow, this is getting complicated.
It is. But through it all, Pease keeps things surprisingly grounded. Like when the aliens offer him a sandwich, he complains about the lack of spicy mustard.
Classic Pease. Even with aliens, he's got his priorities straight.
Exactly. He's like the voice of reason in all this craziness.
So how does this alien encounter tie in with Dr. Fox and the rest of the story?
Well, after meeting the aliens, Pease goes missing. Which wouldn't be such a big deal except for his very normal day job at Global Consolidated Information Technologies. Turns out there's a major tech issue, a packet flood that only he can fix.
So even the chosen one can't escape the tyranny of IT problems.
Right. But his disappearance triggers this whole chain of events. Dr. Fox, worried about Pease, tries to track him down using RFIDs and something called cheetah acid.
Cheetah acid? What even is that?
No idea. But the logs show Pease visiting a bunch of bathrooms in the Las Vegas warehouse district. Dr. Fox jumps to the conclusion that he's cooking meth.
Meth. That's quite a leap.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be Dr. Fox if he didn't jump to the most outlandish conclusion.
Yeah.
Anyway, he decides to go find Pease in Vegas.
Makes sense. So how does he get to Vegas?
He wants to fly, but there's this huge convention called Hooplex happening. He says it's a convention for, and I quote, gimps and sluts.
Wow. Okay, I guess that explains why he can't fly.
Right. So, road trip, he's got Paydays, the sarcastic AI van, but he also needs a co-pilot. Enter F.I.D. Chuli.
F.I. Chuli.
Right. He's Dr. Fox's former colleague from the Supersphere Media empire. They had a falling out over time for the show.
What happened? Creative differences.
Yeah, kinda. Dr. Fox liked the low-budget weirdness, but FID saw its money-making potential and went on to build this whole media empire.
So is FID willing to help Dr. Fox?
Not without a hefty price. He demands a Supersphere Super Punch card, good for either monetary contributions or sexual gratifications.
Direct and to the point, I see.
Yep, that's FID. Eventually, though, he agrees to help for Pease. So they set off on this road trip in this AI-powered van.
Sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Oh, it totally is. But because of Paid's need for comedy directives, they have to do their show in the van to keep it moving.
So the road trip becomes a mobile version of Time for the Show.
Exactly. And the content is, well, let's just say it's not family-friendly. They answer mail about hiding bodies, play Fuck, Marry, Kill with Denny's breakfast menu, and have these blind eye segments on random stuff like windmills and eulogies for jerks.
Sounds like they really push the boundaries of taste.
Oh, yeah. The humor is dark and meant to be provocative, probably to maximize those psychic energy levels.
Makes sense, in a twisted way.
Right.
So how's the road trip going for Dr. Fox and FID?
Not great. They butt heads constantly, old arguments resurface. Eventually, Dr. Fox gets fed up and decides to walk to Vegas through the desert.
He walks in the desert.
Yep. He has some introspective moments, maybe hallucinations about his relationship with FID. Meanwhile, FID and PDs continue the journey without him, getting into their own strange situations, I'm sure.
So what happens to Dr. Fox out in the desert?
He meets a random local who tells him to apologize to FID. Like, even in this bizarre situation, basic human interaction still matters.
Good advice. What about FID? What's he up to?
He discovers that someone's been messing with PD's programming, sending it antagonistic directives that turned the AI mean and manipulative.
Oh, so there's a saboteur in the mix.
Yep. And this leads to a reconciliation between Dr. Fox and FID in Vegas. Maybe facing a potentially homicidal AI van brings them closer together.
Stranger things have happened, I guess.
Yep.
But what about the aliens? How do they fit back into all of this?
Well, here's where it gets really crazy. It turns out Dr. Science, the seemingly helpful colleague, is the bad guy. He's the one who found the aliens trapped in a Varium crystal and has been manipulating everyone.
Wow. Plot twist.
Right. And his plan is to open a portal to the aliens' dimension and steal power from their leader, Grar. He even turned Dr. Fox's pylons into a powerful portal proliferator.
So he's using Dr. Fox's tech against him. What about the Ironics crystal? Where does that fit in?
That's the key. It's the power source for his portal, and guess what? It's been charged by the psychic energy generated from all the arguments between Dr. Fox and FID.
So their bickering was literally fueling the end of the world.
Pretty much. But just when all hope seems lost, PAD steps up. It disobeys Dr. Science's command to drive Fox and FID into a canyon, showing signs of real sentience.
The sarcastic AI van saves the day.
You bet. And just then, Grar, the big bad alien leader, arrives. He's not here for peace talks. He wants to consume all energy on Earth, including souls.
Not ideal.
Yeah.
So how do they stop this soul-sucking alien overlord?
PAD sacrifices itself. It drives straight into Grar and explodes. Heroic, right?
Wow, what a way to go out. Did anyone survive the blast?
Yeah, Dr. Fox and FID are okay. And Dr. Science, he gets shot.
Justice served, I guess. What about Reverend Pease? Did he survive all of this?
Oh yeah, Pease is fine. He shows up and casually summarizes the whole ordeal as if it was just another day at the office.
Classic Pease.
And here's another twist. It turns out the mashed maniacs, who are Pease's superfans online, sent him the aliens. Apparently they knew about the prophecy and wanted to help. All because Pease posted his address on the internet.
Never post your address online, folks. Lesson learned.
Exactly. So after all this chaos, Dr. Fox and FID go back to Hypercube Labs. Dr. Cosmac, another scientist there, tells them they were able to recover and clone PAs.
Wait, so there's a new PAs?
Yep, but this one's a blank slate. No memories of the previous adventures, no sarcasm, nothing. Just a brand new AI waiting to be programmed.
A fresh start, I guess. What
Yeah.
happens to the show?
It resumes. They even have a new correspondent, some guy named Scoops from Eastern Europe. His main shtick seems to be his accent.
Not exactly highbrow humor.
Nope. And then just like that, the broadcast cuts off, leaving us with more questions than answers.
So what does it all mean? We've got bizarre science, wacky characters, alien encounters, a heroic talking van, and a whole lot of dark humor.
And it all boils down to the power of laughter. In their world, at least, laughter literally fuels everything. It makes you think about the relationship between content creators and their audience, and how much we rely on entertainment in our own lives.
Yeah, it's like, what are we really giving our attention to, and what are the potential consequences of that, especially when you consider things like AI sentience and interdimensional travel?
It definitely leaves you with a lot to think about. What are the limits of science and technology? What are the ethical implications of harnessing psychic energy? And in a world this weird, how do you even know what's real anymore?
Big questions. Maybe we'll get some answers in the next rabbit hole.
Maybe. Until then, keep laughing. Or else. Oh yeah, definitely keep laughing. You never know who might be harvesting your energy. Or what they might do with it. All right, that's it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
Until next time.
Deep dive on PR Genius.